I'm Ali Struble, Beacon Media's social media manager. Before we get started, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Martin Henson. I am an advocate, a community organizer, executive director. I run an organization that specializes in support spaces for Black men. Generally, I'm just doing as much as I can to advance the causes I believe in. So I have a background in counseling and a few other things and a large amount of community organizing that helps me figure out how to situate my voice.
Getting into the column you wrote, what inspired you to write about the connection between DEI cuts and sickle cell anemia research?
It was a long, winding road because I wanted to talk about genetic changes and how it impacted Black people and what the research is. That's where it started. So the first version of this didn't get to the point where it was talking about sickle cell. And then I started to explore the research that might have been impacted from Trump's executive orders and the DEI cuts. Then I found sickle cell from there. Now I said, okay, this is a connection, a bridge between what I initially wanted to talk about, which is genetic advancement, and how this current landscape is impacting people who have the disease. So I didn't start there, but I'm happy where I ended because I wanted to show how these things are impacting Black people.
So in your opinion, why is DEI so important right now, especially for folks who are directly impacted by these government decisions?
Well, it's always been important. It's just a language that we use in this society to talk about equality and equity. And equity means, if I'm summing it up really succinctly, it means giving people the difference in investment that they have been denied before. So as it relates to research, I didn't know equity would be something that would mean that life-saving research would be ended because it says too many things about Blackness or any other marginalized category. People could die, people are going to lose their quality of life, and it's going to happen over time, more so in the future, because we're not going to see all the impacts immediately. So that's what's making me concerned.
Was there anything particularly surprising that stuck out to you while researching this column?
There was a few things. One of them is that the North Carolina Research Triangle was nationally known and respected for its contribution in research. Like, I didn't know that it was that big. The research that talked about the doctor at Duke, that I didn't know that the quality of life of people navigating sickle cell would be impacted so greatly by the lack of research that she's putting forward. So said differently, I didn't know she was doing that research. I didn't know that sickle cell ages you. And I didn't know that this research was going to be cut due to the DEI shifts in the landscape. So those are just a few things. There was so much that I learned while I was researching.
My last question for you. In a time when program and research cuts are making many people feel powerless, especially vulnerable communities, what can the everyday person do to create real change in their communities?
Well, I know that the news and the information that we're having to navigate is bombarding our senses and ability to feel safe and secure. So there's an urge to look away. You really have to track the impacts of these governmental changes and systemic shifts. So when people say knowing is half the battle, it can be kind of corny, but knowing is helpful. It's helpful to know where this is happening locally, how it's happening in your city, people that you know that may be impacted. A lot of the things I've learned, pieces that I write, come from people I'm directly talking to who are giving a lived experience of the things I may read on paper. Knowing more and being in conversation with your community about the different changes that's really important.
Great. Well, thank you so much. That's all I have for you today. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything you're working on at the moment?
I'm always working on something. I think that there are so many things shifting rapidly. This is one of the reasons I became more of a writer in this fashion that I am now. There's so many things shifting rapidly that there's so many stories that we can talk about. And with the current military climate, with us being at war or not at war, I've been really curious about how that in fact impacts different people. So that's one thing that's on my mind now. I think being knowledgeable in a time of great change is hard, but it's worth it.
Thank you so much, Martin. Have a good one.
All right, you too.